single most valuable skill in AI nowadays is simply ability to talk to the model. So basically writing prompts. If you can ask the right questions, you will get really good answers from the model. So if you're in ChatGPT, you are constantly giving him some instructions on how to, for example, process the text or maybe interact with you to give you better answers. And you probably noticed that the better prompt you have, the better question you have, the better example you provide, the better results you get. However, those questions are usually the same, or sometimes you just use some different things, but you start conversation from the very base level and the very base prompt that you have to constantly rewrite in ChatGPT. So in Alice, there is a concept of snippets, and those snippets are available here. You can click on this little icon, and here you have dozens of maybe hundreds of snippets. Those are snippets that we've provided, but also snippets that you create yourself. So, for example, if you want to use some kind of like maybe explain snippet, you're going to type in the name of the snippet, then select it, and you can say, for example, gravity. And you don't have to give any other instructions. Alice will just give you the explanation of gravity. So it definitely is a time saver because you just have to type in the term and then you get the explanation. However, the prompt itself, if you press Command K and go to snippets from here, you'll see that if I look for this specific snippet, which is explain, I can edit the snippets and you'll see that this prompt might be a bit longer, maybe a bit bigger. This is not quite big, but basically you can have a much richer context for this exact prompt. And you don't have to ask this question again and waste time to just construct the prompt the way you will get the answer right. Also, what you have here is you have this snippet activated and you can see its little icon. There is explain bubble also that suggests that this is still turned on. So if I, let's say, go with particles this time, I'm still in the snippet mode and I will get the explanation of the word particles. And this is really, really cool because once you have activated one of the snippets, then you can constantly chat with the model and you can get results based on the prompt that fuels this snippet. So it's really useful, for example, in translations. So if you want to translate different parts of text, then you can just paste them in chat and you get the translation. You paste another part and you get another translation. It's pretty straightforward. In order to use it this way in ChatGPT, you'd have to like provide detailed instruction at the beginning. Now we can easily work with this snippet and save time. Okay, snippets here can also be edited. So you have basically a lot of snippets that can be or cannot be edited depending on whether they come with Alice and we've created them, or you created them by yourself. So the ones that come pre-installed with Alice, they can change over time because we have the ability to add new snippets and to provide some instructions, some better instructions in the snippet that already exists. And you have the information here that you cannot really modify, for example, things like name and category, and you cannot modify the icon or the prompt. What you can do is you can modify the model. So if you decide that this explain snippet should run on GPT-4 because it gives you better explanations, you can obviously change it and you can save those changes. For every snippet, you can add a keyboard shortcut, and this is really powerful. I use it all the time with some basic snippets that I have here, and I have assigned keyboard shortcuts to them so that I can use those keyboard shortcuts outside of Alice. And let me show you what I really mean by this. So here I'm in IA Writer, and I have a text with some errors in it, okay? So what I can do is just select the text by pressing Command A. Then I need this text in my clipboard. So I'm going to copy it to my clipboard by pressing Command C. Now, once the text is in my clipboard, I can run an operation on the text that's in the clipboard by just pressing the combination of keys that I have here. And by the way, this is really complicated combination of keys, but in fact, it's only two keys that I have to press because all of the modifier keys I have binded on for one key only. So this is my caps lock key. How to accomplish that? Well, if you download a free Carabiner Elements software, you can do it easily. There you have complex modifications. You just add a rule in Carabiner, and then you add a rule to change caps lock to Command Control Option Shift. And then all of those buttons will be instantly pressed when you press caps lock. And so that I have to just press and hold caps lock and then press P. So in order to translate it, I just need to press caps lock and P, but instead of that, I just want to press caps lock L to fix the errors. And Alice is working in the background, and all I can do now is just paste what I have in the clipboard. When I paste it, you can see that I've pasted the text that is already fixed. Why is it in my clipboard already? Well, in the general settings here, I mentioned that you can always copy answers to the clipboard. You can set this flag to on, and then everything Alice will process, then it will be automatically copied into your clipboard. That is why when I run the snippet on the text copied to my clipboard, I immediately got the answer with the correct text back in my clipboard as well. So this is as easy as that. And you don't even have to see the Alice's window to create and run some those actions. And the keyboard shortcut I'm using, it's not a coincidence that I'm using so many modifier keys here, because you can imagine that different applications you'll be working with, like email clients and maybe text editors, they have their own set of shortcuts. And once you are outside of Alice, it's really easy to have, if you have a simple keyboard shortcut applied to a snippet, it will just be overwritten by the keyboard shortcut that is used by this application that you already use. So it's really best to have this complex keyboard shortcut set as shortcuts for the snippets. Then you are 100% sure that this keyboard shortcut will not be triggered inside of the software that you use, but it will instead summon Alice and the prompt that you will run on the selected text. So as you can see, Alice comes with pre-installed snippets that you might or might not want to use. And it's a lot of clutter. If you don't want to use these snippets and these prompts and you don't need them, you can simply disable them. For the ones that we've pre-installed, you can just go to the snippet and say deactivate. Well, just remove this activated flag or click hide. This is basically the same. And now this snippet is hidden, but if you want to show it again, you can just click on this little option and it will show you this hidden snippet. But in order not to clutter your snippet list, you can hide the ones that you don't want to work with. And also, one thing worth mentioning is that assistants that I'm going to talk later on, they all have their own snippets that you can apply to them. So basically, if you go to snippets, you have all the snippets installed in the Alice app. But in assistants, you can decide what particular snippets the assistant uses. So you can have an assistant that has just 5 or 10 snippets that you use most commonly with this assistant, and they won't clutter your list. They will be like super easy to find also with the keyboard shortcuts that you'll use to summon the snippets. And also in the snippets tab, what you can do is create your own new snippets. If you create a new snippet, you just give it a name like test snippet, and then the category is by default private, but you can say to do or whatever category you want to create. I'm going to show you that in a second. Then you select the model like GPT-4, and then you can select the icon from Font Awesome. If you click on this little link, you'll go to Font Awesome, and then you can search for whatever, for example, image icon. And if you like any of those icons, you can just go to the icon and click on the name of this icon here. Then you can go back and paste it here, but just make sure you use only the things that are inside of quotes, like this. Then you have the main prompt. So this is obviously the most important part. This is where you put all of the instructions, and those instructions will be automatically applied to whatever you paste in chat while using this particular snippet. So here is the instruction to, let's say, translate or brainstorm or be your assistant, and whatever you want to do, whatever prompts you have, whatever great prompts you can find on the internet or just discover with us, you can put here and you can save it forever. Well, There is also JSON mode and remote action button that I will explain later on with the remote, together with the remote actions. It's more complicated, but it's like a big feature of Alice that you don't want to miss. So make sure you watch the videos about JSON mode, about remote actions. And for the prompts that you create, let me save those changes. Those prompts are in the private category, or as I just created to-do category, it is in a separate category here, and you can delete them. So if you go to this prompt, you can delete them, the snippet, and it's gone forever. So for the pre-installed, you just hide those, and you can show and hide them on the list. And for the new ones that you create, you can delete them. Okay, so that's basically it about the prompts and how you can use it also with keyboard shortcuts. And if we are talking about keyboard shortcuts, please remember that you can always use keyboard shortcuts also to summon the prompts. So if you are in the chat window, you can also press / to just find the snippet that you want to work with and press return arrow keyboards to select it and then return to accept it. And now it's applied. So you don't have to reach to your mouse. If you're working with Alice, you can do everything with keyboard shortcuts. And this / shortcut is really useful. And if you want to leave the snippet mode, you just press escape on the keyboard. So / and then you search for a snippet, or escape to just go back and reset those snippets. Okay, this is it for that lesson. Thank you very much and see you in the next one.